Calamity and Retribution. Written by Rowan, narrated by Jonathan Brenner. I regained consciousness and found myself on the lounge floor of my apartment, feeling like I'd been pulverized by a superior fighter. I sat up slowly and leaned against a chair. The Venetian blinds were half closed, but the room was warm and well lit. The sun shone through the slats, splitting the light and creating a horizontal pattern on the far walls with dust particles floating in the haze. I was wearing a charcoal grey pinstripe suit, which was torn and blood-stained, a pink stiff-collared shirt and a blue silk tie, which had been forcefully pulled into a tight knot and hung low around my neck. I gathered my concentration and looked around me. My apartment looked like it had been turned over by a mafia mob. There was stuff turned over and leaning everywhere. I used the chair I'd been leaning on as an aid to get up onto my feet. My knee was throbbing, as were parts of my face, hands, and abdomen. I felt my cheekbones with my hands. My face was painful to touch, and I felt the inside of my mouth with my tongue and tasted blood. I was a painful mess. I imagined that's how a boxer would feel after 10 rounds with a tough opponent. I felt dazed, shook my head a little, and closed my eyes momentarily as I stumbled over strewn furniture to make my way across the room towards the bathroom to use the mirror and get a better look at my injuries. I had a sudden shock fill me with anxiety. My wife and kids, where were they? My mind raced and my heart pounded as I manoeuvred through turned-over furniture and turned-out drawers, shouting their names. Cassie, Jake, Clara. Everywhere I went was strewn with turned-over furniture and our possessions. I came to realize the full extent of damage and mess. I got to the hallway, which was in a similar state. I grabbed the phone from amongst the debris. The door was gaping wide open. The landing and staircase were silent. Who had been here? What did they want? Where were my family? I dialed my wife's number and held the phone to my ear. The phone was dead. I started to fill up and threw the phone against the wall in anger and frustration. It exploded into several pieces on impact. I felt overcome with anxiety and dropped to my knees, holding my head in my hands and vocally airing my frustration with a roar, and the tears in my eyes started to roll down my cheeks. After a few moments, I told myself to be strong, got up and continued my search, hoping, praying for a response to my cries as I did. I'd been in almost every room calling their names when I was mid-shout, as I went into the bedroom. No. Please, no, I screamed. It was a bloodbath. My wife and my kids were covered in blood. I felt instantly sick as I held my wife and then my children. I sobbed and screamed out loud. Why?
That's the end of the preview. To hear more, click the link.